good morning, and thank you all for coming. My name is Joel Ward, and I'm here today as a member of the Knox County Progressives and a constituent of Representative Bobby Schilling. It is fitting that the Knox County Progressives hold this news conference by the statue of Mother Bickerdyke. Mary Bickerdyke was a woman of great compassion who 150 years ago sacrificed much to care for sick and wounded young men torn from the arms of their families by war. Mother Bickerdyke put a premium on the health and well-being of others, an example for all of us. Sadly, we cannot say that about our representative in the United States House of Representatives, Congressman Bobby Schilling. On April 15, Congressman Schilling voted with his party against seniors, against children, and against American families when he voted yes on the Ryan budget proposal. The Ryan proposal would eventually turn Medicare over to the insurance industry, and it would also effectively wipe out Medicaid, leaving millions of American families without health care. Instead of fulfilling his obligation to every American, Mr. Schilling voted to replace the Medicare program that provides health care and debt relief to millions of seniors and disabled Americans with a plan that would unduly burden them and their families. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office reported that by 2030, the Republican plan that Bobby Schilling voted for would force seniors and the disabled to pay 68% of their health care costs, instead of the 25% they pay under traditional Medicare. Plus, they would be subject to the bureaucracy of big insurance. In addition, the plan Congressman Schilling voted for would have a disastrous effect on health care, because out-of-pocket health care costs would more than double for seniors and the disabled. They may put off seeking needed medical attention, which would lead to unnecessary health complications, even hastening death for many. As well, the plan Mr. Schilling voted for would weight down American families with unmanageable medical debt, further eroding the American middle class. After citizens recently expressed their displeasure at town hall meetings held by Republican members of Congress, the GOP House leadership said it would back off its plan to change Medicare. However, that does not erase Congressman Bobby Schilling's vote to drastically alter the Medicare program that tens of millions of Americans have come to rely on over the past 46 years. Sadly, Mitch McConnell, Senate Republican leader, has again publicly stated the intentions of his party to continue to target Medicare. The plan Senator McConnell and Mr. Schilling support would take traditional Medicare away from Americans under age 55 while allowing those 55 and older to stay on the program. In other words, Schilling and the Republican leadership think senior citizens are selfish and won't mind if traditional Medicare is taken away from coming generations. We say they are wrong. At this point, I'd like to turn this over to another constituent of Representative Bobby Schilling, Miss Anna Johnson, who has her own story to tell about Representative Schilling's vote to end Medicare as we know it.
When I talked to Schilling's office, I said, I don't like what you're doing with Medicare. And the person said, well, how old are you? And I said, I'm 82. And then the person said, well, you don't have anything to worry about. It's not going to affect you. And I said, well, I worry about more people than just me. I worry about all the people in our nation.
Not only did Congressman Schilling vote to end Medicare as we know it, but by voting for the Ryan budget proposal, he joined the campaign to eventually wipe out Medicaid. Analyses by both the Kaiser Family Foundation and the Urban Institute conclude that if the Republican plan that Mr. Schilling voted for is enacted, up to 44 million Americans will lose their health care coverage. Who are these 44 million Americans? The largest group is children. But seniors also make up a large part of that 44 million. According to the Center for Medicare Advocacy, Inc., 6 out of every 10 residents of nursing homes rely on Medicaid. The Republican leadership has given no indication that it will back off the plan to end Medicaid. Whereas Medicare has broad popularity, the GOP leadership is counting on the public not caring about those 44 million Americans, children, residents of nursing homes, American families who will lose their medical coverage. Knox County Progressives are here today to let Mr. Schilling know that we do care and that we have our own prescription for prosperity and for saving the country that doesn't destroy Medicare.
Hello, the Knox County Progressives have some prescriptions, and if taken as prescribed might truly save Medicare and Medicaid. Here they are, point by point. Take Medicare and Medicaid out of the general federal budget so that the revenue going into these programs cannot be hijacked and used for other things. Second, to maintain and strengthen the Affordable Care Act, the health reform law that decreases the 50 states' share of Medicaid, having a larger share picked up by the federal government for new enrollees starting in 2014, bringing uniformity to the program and needed relief to the states. Next, take a scalpel to the military budget and divert part of the savings to the paying down of the debt and part to fund Medicare and Medicaid. The Knox County Progressives wants the United States to be the strongest military power in the world, but our government spends money it doesn't need to spend in order to be the most powerful. In an article by Mark Thompson in the April 25th, 2011 issue of Time magazine, identified nearly $1 trillion that could be cut from the military budget, and the United States would still be far and away the mightiest nation on the face of the earth. Also, with the death of Osama bin Laden, it is time to declare victory and bring our troops home from Afghanistan. According to the Congressional Research Service, the war is costing $6.7 billion a month. We also suggest to allow the Bush tax cuts to expire on the top income bracket and use part of the increased revenue to reduce the deficit and part to fund Medicaid and Medicare. And finally, increase the capital gains tax on the wealthiest 1% of Americans, directing the increased revenue into the Medicare and Medicaid system. And now I'll turn it over to Mr. Jim Jenkins, who will continue.
This is going to be very short. We don't want to go to Bobby Schilling's town hall meetings and scream and yell at him. We're not going to behave that way, but we have another method by which we're going to let him know that we don't agree with his vote for the Ryan proposal. We went and we got 46 constituents of Knox County, constituents of Bobby Schilling's, to write a prescription note to him. We believe that the Ryan budget proposal is bad medicine for the United States, and we have some prescriptions for him, and what we have done is each citizen took a container with a year on it. 46 of them, because 46 years this coming July 30th, President Lyndon Johnson signed into law the Medicare Act, which was Title 18 of the Social Security Act, and then he also signed into law Title 19, which was the Medicaid Act. And we're put these in these bottles. We're going to take them down to Bobby Schilling, his office, I should say, hand them to the aide very respectfully, and we're going to ask her to pass these along to Mr. Schilling with suggestions and objections regarding his vote on the Ryan budget proposal. And we encourage Mr. Schilling to read these and to consider changing his position on Medicare and Medicaid. Thank you.
All right. My name is Joel Ward.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm a resident here in Galesburg, one of Representative Schilling's constituents. I'm also a member of the Knox County Progressives, and we're here today because we have a prescription for American prosperity that we'd like to deliver to Representative Schilling. Each of the prescription bottles in this bag contains a prescription note written by one of Representative Schilling's constituents.
Okay.
There are 46 of them in there. Each one is labeled with the year.
Okay.
The year represents one of the 46 years that Medicare has been in existence. This year is the 46th anniversary of Medicare.
Okay.
And please do take a look at them. And we would like Representative Schilling.
Oh, it's a pop-off.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
Or someone who has his ear to take a look at them and see what his constituents think
Okay.
about Medicare, about the Ryan budget plan, and about other issues that they chose to write about. We actually don't know what is on them. Everybody wrote these in
Okay.
private,
Yeah.
put them down there for Representative Schilling to see.
Definitely.
And we'd appreciate it if you could get
I'll
them
look
to
through
us.
them and I'll pass them along.
The main reason that I'm here is because I've never been one who wanted to live better than my children. And if Medicare and Social Security is ripped away from the younger generation, they will not be able to have the life that I've enjoyed. and that my generation is enjoyed. And I just hope that things can turn around in this country and not pit the younger generation against the older and the older generation against the younger. There is a better way.
I'm Margaret Mitchell, and I'm here because I think the other voices need to be heard. In Washington right now, we are bombarded with news and reports of information that I don't agree with. And unless I speak up and my voice isn't heard, then I have no excuse for what's going on in this country.